Hello, I'm Nathan Leahy and welcome to Next Week in Gaming. First up this week is a pretty sweet bundle on Humble Bundle, and this is from Telltale Games. This ends on Tuesday the 26th of April, and to be fair, I have never played any Telltale games, but judging by the rather reasonable pricing and the amount of games you get in this bundle, this may be the time for me to purchase some and stick them on my list. There is 3 tiers as usual. The final tier includes The Walking Dead Season 2 and Game of Thrones, which are some of the better Telltale and more recent ones. But if we just take a look at the first 2 tiers, we can see that there's a couple of the sort of generic Telltale games which were pretty good. I mean, start off with The Walking Dead Season 1, and it's got a couple of other ones mixed in along with Sam & Max, which is probably one of the ones I'm most interested in. Second tier also includes Walking Dead add-on for Season 1, Wolf Among Us, which I watched a couple of Let's Plays of, and it's pretty interesting, although I've watched enough of it to probably not want to play it anymore, including Tales of the Borderlands and more games coming next week. So overall, pretty sweet deal, only $12 for the whole lot. Kind of a no-brainer, really. Releasing on Tuesday the 19th of April is the sequel to the Banner Saga. This is the Banner Saga 2, published by Versus Evil, and this game is probably one of my most liked games purely for the art style. It's all still hand-drawn animation, 2D animation, and this is pretty much the same thing as before, but with a couple of little additions like a new race called the Horseborn, some more slightly strategic battle boards for you to play around on, but most of the stuff remains quite similar, and the nice thing about this game is that everything that you did in the storyline of the original game will actually have effects and change the way you deal with the storyline in the second one, which is quite nice because a lot of sequel games, they kind of err on the side of, well, it's difficult to deal with stuff that happened in the previous title, so we'll just pretend that you made these choices. So that's pretty good, and it's nice to have a bit of continuity, which a lot of games just tend to forget about. So the Banner Saga, originally it was an awesome game. I can't think that Banner Saga 2 is going to be any less good. Releasing on Thursday the 21st of April is Battlefleet Gothic Armada after a rather, well, not particularly lengthy delay. It was only delayed by about a month, and I still have yet to receive my campaign review code, so we won't necessarily be reviewing it anytime soon, maybe in the coming weeks, probably after it releases. But this is just a quality game, and it's received a lot of very high praise so far in that it keeps to the original Warhammer, closer to the tabletop game as opposed to the Dawn of War more casual RPG style game, and it just feels good. It's everything that Warhammer should be. There's a bunch of new races that they've been pushing so far, with the Eldar being the most recent, and it just looks fantastic. It is published by Focus Home Interactive, who are well known for games like Of Orcs and Men and Styx, which are good games but sort of quite rough around the edges, but still just absolutely just solidly built. And if you take a look at the font in Battlefleet Gothic Armada, you'll sort of see where I'm coming from in that it feels a little bit budgety on the edges, but it's still, that core stuff in the middle is what makes it great. And so far, all the people I've played who've been playing the multiplayer beta have really loved it so far. So honestly, I can't imagine this doing particularly badly on release, and there's so many Warhammer 40k fans out there. I think this one's going to do pretty damn well. Also releasing on Thursday the 21st of April is a game by Bandit One, and this is called Western Press. And as you know, I'm always looking out for games that are great Steam Machine party games, and this is one of those games that's going to go straight to the top of my list and probably be a little bit close to Nidhogg in terms of, just ease of play, very addictive, and this game basically is like a keyboard masher, 1v1 one-shot. It's a dueling game with 2 Westerners or whatever. There's a bunch of characters you can unlock via the campaign mode and via other modes and all this sort of stuff. There is like a single-player version, but it's purely for multiplayer like Nighthawk is. And this just looks fantastic. So basically you have 10 keys in a list, and whoever types those 10 keys in that order the fastest is the one that wins the duel. It looks great. It's an 8-bit just keyboard masher, do it as fast as possible. It looks fantastic. It does have controller support and fully configurable controls, so you can sort of customize your own difficulty, I guess, in the way that you deal with these 10 key code combinations. And it just looks fantastic. It's a very simple idea. It looks great. It looks like it's been executed quite well, and the characters look reasonably interesting. It has that sort of hint of not a hero, which I'm always fond of, so I'm probably going to pick this game up when it releases. So our review title for next week on Thursday the 21st of April is going to be Shortbreak Studios' The Collider 2. For those who are unaware of this game, the original was originally sort of like a mobile game, quite simplistic in nature, but similar gameplay to how this one's going to turn out. Except this one is done in the Unreal Engine 4, and from what I can tell from the little teaser, it's actually looking pretty fantastic. A couple of the early impressions are quite good, and it's got 54 levels, so it's a reasonably long, plenty of customization, bunch of ships to keep you interested in the game, I guess. Otherwise, things could get a little bit samey and repetitive. But it's very, very fast-paced, looks extremely challenging, and it just looks like a solid sort of, I need to kill a few hours and have fun while I'm doing it. So I definitely look forward to reviewing that one next week. So that's it from us at NextPowerUp. Join us next week on Thursday for our weekly review of The Collider 2, and next week on Saturday for our next Week in Gaming episode. As usual, leave your comments in the section below for what you guys have been playing this week. Just come back from another Friday Night Magic and went 3-1 in Modern this time, which is not so bad. Seemed to go 2 for 2 in all standards and 3 for 1 in all Moderns. But next week is Two-Headed Giant, and I managed to get my brother into the game as well, so he'll be coming along, which should be pretty cool, hopefully. But doing lots of trades and still not quite there yet with a lot of my decks. But we'll get there eventually. Man, cards are pricey these days. But now that, the release week is over and everything like that, things have calmed down a bit and people are actually starting to get a little bit more constructed. So it just feels a little bit more calm and people are a bit more constructed in their way of things. So it's not quite so random anymore. And the power level of cards has sort of been understood and priced. So everything feels a hell of a lot more relaxed at long last. So hope you guys have enjoyed this episode and we'll see you next week.